Well, coming up on Morning Light, it can be hard to overcome a difficult childhood, but Center for Champions wants mentors to walk alongside teens to help them with struggle, all while sharing gospel hope. That's up next. You're watching Morning Light right here on Lighthouse TV.
Welcome back. A national study led by mentors says 74% of children and teens who had a mentor say that relationship contributed significantly to their success later in life. The Center for Champions uses mentors grounded in faith to guide young people to make the right choices. Joining us is Jeff Bruce, Executive Director with Center for Champions. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So remind us about Center for Champions.
Yeah, so we are a youth mentoring organization. What we've kind of found, which is true for everybody, I think at some point in their life, is that students are confused by the world around them, especially today, struggling to figure out purpose in life and what direction to go. And I think distracted, which maybe you and I had to a degree, but it's 100-fold now. Just getting pulled in every direction. I saw yesterday we were exposed to like 10,000 ads per day, so that adds into everything. And so what we do is we provide Christian mentors. Their mission is simple: show up, show love to that student, and just repeat that process over and over. It's not their job to save anybody, but to just take those opportunities that the Lord provides to share the gospel, to point students to Him, and ultimately just help students thrive in all areas of life, whether it's spiritually, physically, academically. Yeah,
so when you say a mentor, so people may be thinking, oh, this sounds like a lot of time, I can't do this. What does it mean to be a mentor?
Right, so a mentor is somebody we really just want it to look like a regular friendship. That's what we're going for in the end, and not as a burden for anybody. Our hope and expectation is 4 to 6 times a month meeting with the student. We provide 4 of those ways each month with our programs, and then once a match is formed, meeting a couple times before, whether it's before our programs or outside the walls of what we do. So yeah, it's not really a huge commitment, and we hope that mentors look forward to the time together.
And what is the response that you do receive?
Yeah, it's been really neat to see over the years. We've understood and developed over the years about how to do what we do, and it's been really neat to see kids that come really oftentimes without much of a faith background, knowing what they're coming to. Parents all know that we're a Christian program. Hear the gospel. Every week they have the opportunity to have one-on-one discussion with their mentor. We've had a number of students who have made commitments to Christ, go to different retreats, and many kids who are thriving now. The hardest part, I think, is those late high school and post-graduation years where we really need mentors to pour into students as they're making those major life decisions.
Yeah, and what do you see as far as their biggest struggles? I know you touched on them in the beginning, but what is the biggest thing they're struggling with? I
think my guess would be, so over the years, we've averaged about 65% of our students are growing up in single parent homes, typically with a single mom. And then I think there is, at graduation, the struggle to, do I stay at home, provide how I can, help with younger siblings, or pursue something else? And that has been probably the biggest struggle, is helping students pursue what God wants for them and figuring out what that is.
Yep, and that's what the mentors are walking right beside them.
Exactly, yeah.
So last year you had a walk. This year it's going to be a run. So tell us about it.
Yeah, so we've done a variety of fundraisers, and if you know anybody who's involved in the nonprofit world knows that you don't want to spend a lot of time working on fundraising events because now you're spending donor money. So we've always looked for efficiency. So we started this walk actually last fall, and we noticed that there was a 5K, and there was more interest in that. So we're calling it this year the Run for Champions. It's April 25th. It'll stay as a spring event. I know it's kind of close to the last one we did, but it'll stay as a spring event. So there's a 5K and then a 1-mile fun run or walk, whatever people prefer, and that'll be over at Reservoir Park in Harrisburg. April 25th at 9 a.m. is the start.
And how will this benefit Centers for Champions?
Yeah, so all the fundraising goes directly back into our programs, our operational costs, and our the programs that we run.
Okay, great. Okay, well, thanks so much for sharing this with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Just ahead on Morning Light, you can make a lasting impact on a student's life. Next, you will hear from a mentor and his student. We just heard how mentoring today's youth makes a difference. According to Mentor, 85% of young people with a mentor say that relationship has helped them with issues related to school and also their education. Joining us is Scott Burholder, who is a mentor with Center for Champions, and his mentee, KG Gore. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Scott, why don't you first tell us, how did you get involved with Center for Champions, and why did you want to become a mentor?
Well, my wife and I were empty nesters, and our girls were in college at the time in 2019. And a program director from Center for Champions came to our church that we were going to at that time and explained the program. And we were looking to foster. We weren't sure what we wanted to do, and it seemed like a good gap from fully committing to fostering. But we decided to check it out. We came to a Rooted event, and we watched, and we really liked the energy and the organization of the program, because I've been involved in youth programs before that were kind of chaotic, but this was very regimented, and we thought that was really beneficial to the kids.
And KJ, how did you get involved with Center for Champions, and at what age?
I've been involved with Center for Champions for like 7 years now, since 6th grade. They came to my school, and also my sister was involved with it, and she had a mentor. Like, she had a first-year mentor, so I really wanted to have a mentor as well and get into the Bible and stuff like that. So I started going to Center in 6th grade. That was 7 years ago, yeah.
So how did the two of you then meet?
Well, I was matched with somebody else originally. His name was Andres, and I was matched with him for about 1.5 years, and then he moved to Lancaster, actually into a very much better situation than he was in Harrisburg. And then I was about 6 months, 7 months, I didn't have anybody matched, and then the center matched me with KJ, and it's...
And kind of the same for me. I was matched with a mentor for almost a year, and he ended up getting, I guess, I forget if it was a new job or just he had new plans for his life. So I stayed in Center, of course, and then sooner rather than later, I got matched with Scott.
So Scott, how do you mentor KJ?
Well, the way Center for Champions is set up, it's really set up for success. At Rooted, there's 2 games at the beginning, and then there's a message given by one of the staff members of Center for Champions, and then there's one-on-one time with your mentee, and that's about 15 to 20 minutes, which is, I always think it's the best part of the evening, because there's questions, and then we go through the questions and talk about life. He works for me at my job. I sell used construction equipment, and KJ searches equipment. He's been doing that for 5 years. And we go to lunch, dinner. He cooks for my wife and I at our house.
We were talking about that. What's your specialty?
I like to make steak. I love a good steak. Yeah.
He's a magician in the kitchen.
Oh, so
he took a
it's
fresh, one of those boxes you get with all the ingredients. He didn't use the recipe. He just did whatever he wanted with it. It was awesome. Yeah, he's a very good cook.
Wow. KJ, how has this changed your life?
I think the biggest thing is our community, Harrisburg area, is very prevalent in youth. What is the word I'm looking for? There's a lot of things
struggling.
Yes, there's a lot of struggles for our youth, and a lot of our youth isn't rooted in God, or they don't find time to make their life Christ-centered. So I think making my life Christ-centered with Center for Champions turned my life in like a whole different trajectory. I feel like I could have been a total different person sitting here if in 6th grade I didn't start going to Center for Champions. And I would recommend anybody to start going to Center for Champions because why not? I mean, learn about God and learn about yourself and learn about what you want to do with your life. It's like everything. Center for Champions covers all the bases. It's not just about learning about God because we could go to church for that. It's about the community. It's about the like-minded individuals, like the students that look like you and also think like you.
Wow. So inspiring. And you're a senior and you're
Yes.
graduating and you're
Yes.
planning to go to college.
Yes, yes, yes. I want to go to Morgan State. I think that's like my biggest contender right now. Yeah, I'm just trying to focus on the last couple months of school and making sure like I'm just ready to take on the real world. Yeah.
Great. Well, the real world is waiting for you. You have a bright future ahead of you.
Thank you.
Thank you both for being here
Sure,
with
thank you.
us. Thank you for sharing your journey. To learn more about becoming a mentor or to register for the run on April 25th, visit centerforchampions.org. Stay with us. We're back right after the break.